Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Greetings, soul star sovereigns of the Emerald Order, Lightkeepers of New Lemuria. Happy lunar eclipse and full moon in Taurus. As the celestial heavens align with the earthly plane, we come into perfect harmonic resonance with infinite source creator to fulfill our 3D missions of assisting Gaia and all her children in this great ascension process. Today's lunar eclipse gateway and full moon in Taurus anchors us fully into the deep womb, crystalline core of our Great Mother to help us rise to the highest plateau of the new earth frequency. As the heavens rain upon the earth, all is upgraded in the glory of the new golden age codes of eternal life. Each moment is an opportunity to shine and rise into the brilliant light of our multidimensional oversoul presence, to connect and bridge the two worlds into one coherent and cohesive manifestation of divine invention. We use the power of our almighty I Am presence and our pure imagination to guide and allow the Holy Spirit to work with us in the great unveiling of our highest potential. We are in the final throes of the great shift of ages as we continue along our path with heart in this quantum leap of consciousness into the new luminous beings of infinite light, which in all actuality is the realization of our true nature, which is what we call the unborn mind of Buddha. As we live from our pure awareness, we become the walking masters of the new earth vibration to assist all of humanity in the event of eternity. With our pure intent and divine will, we lift the veils and culminate into our higher self of sacred origin. We carry within our DNA the angelic codes of the New Earth Masters to activate our soul star spark to co-create the paradise this world has always evolved to be. Keep going through every barrier and gateless gate to return to Eden, fully awake and fully aware to bridge heaven and earth. We activate you in this now to complete the encodement of the totality of your sacred avatar within the simulated reality, to free the mind into this boundless timelessness of the new consciousness of ethereal order. Aho! Abundance codes for today: 1133, 60311, 888, 271, 555. 5177. Welcome, beloved beings of light, to today's transmissions. I am Paul White Gold Eagle from PrimeDisclosure.com. We have many powerful, activating transmissions today, so be sure to stick around to the very end. And if you could do us a favor, please like, comment, and share this video with your teams, for our energy, activations, and transmissions can get out to more of our team of the 144. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and click the subscribe button below. We put out transmissions 7 days of the week. And to date, we have over 1,444 transmissions, each one encoded with New Earth energies. And with this powerful portal gateway opening, we had many Earth changes and activations all over Pachamama. We had severe flooding and landslides in India, Tamil Nadu, and Andhra Pradesh. Massive flooding as Mother Earth still purging, cleansing, releasing all that remains of the old 3D false matrix. We are in the time of the great purification and transmutation. We had many activations all over this realm, with 114 M1.5 or greater earthquakes in the past 24 hours. The most powerful on the Ring of Fire today with a 5.6 in Vanuatu. This was at 1932 UTC on the 19th, 1919, 1010 portal. 133 kilometers depth. Earlier today in Pecos, Texas, we had a 3.1. Chile, South America, Andes Mountains, 3.1. 37 kilometer depth, 37 into 73, heaven on earth, 4-4 portal. La Libertad, Sonora, Mexico, 4.5. Council of 9 coming in. Banda C, 4.3. North of Svalbard, 4.2. This is as far north on the map as you can go. 85.862 latitude, 22.766 longitude. Very close to the North Pole. We had a 4.6 activation Indonesia, Puerto Rico 3-0. In the portal of Afghanistan, 4.3. Indonesia 4-9. Turkey 5.1. Ionian Islands, Greece 4.8, 12 Divine Feminine. San Antonio de los Cobres, Argentina, South America, just south of the Tropic of Capricorn, another 4.8, 12-12 portal, very deep, 232 kilometers depth, southeast of Loyalty Islands. 4.6, Alaska Peninsula and the Crown of Lemuria, 3.5, Coal Strip, Montana, 3.4, Vanuatu, 5.6, Philippines, 5.1, 5.4, Colombia, South America, by the border of Panama, right on the coast, we had a 4.7 activation. Papua New Guinea, 4.7, 11-11 portal. Japan, we had a 4.6 activation. Cabazon, California, 3.3, 33 Divine Mastery. Bishop, California, 3.2. We had 2 powerful activations. Baja, California, Mexico, 3-3 and 3-0, 3-3-3 portal. The Trinity within the Trinity. The whole grid totally lit up, totally activated, as we are jumping timelines, paradigms, and ley lines, as all is coming together in the middle, the Sacred Heart Center. And now we continue with my Sacred Condor pulling a card for you today from the Oracle deck, Beyond Lemuria from Izzy Ivy. And the card she pulled for you today, card 27, Furred and Feathered Friends. Ethical consumption, making a difference through our food choices, caring for all beings, animals, environmental awareness, doing the best we can, animal spirit guides. Animals are intuitive and sacred beings that walk the earth beside us. They are the wisdom keepers of many earth traditions and some of our most loving companions. They have much to teach us, and yet the way some species are treated is quite unbelievable. As we become more empathic and our sense of compassion expands beyond that of our own family and community sphere, we start to see other beings and the quality of their lives as interconnected and equal. We may be inspired to align our actions with our compassion to minimize the harm we do to the planet and all her inhabitants. As humans are evolving and moving to a lighter consciousness, our bodies may struggle to digest what was once healthy and fortifying. Also, when we are doing the work spiritually, we may feel more sensitive to things that don't fit with our values. When we take on the energy of a product that has suffered imbued in it, no matter how good it tastes or even how organic it is, we may notice a lowering of our vibration as it challenges our spiritual integrity. That is not to say that there is one way of living and eating that everyone should adopt. This message is about doing the best we can within our circumstances. It is not always possible to access nutritious or locally produced alternatives. However, as consumers, we do have the power to push for change by choosing how and where we spend our money. We have many more options in the West than in previous generations for plant-based alternatives. Furthermore, there is evidence to show that minimizing the intake of animal-based foods helps to address a range of endemic health issues. As the false food pyramids fall away, they reveal themselves as misinformative marketing tools of the meat industry. We can let go of this falsehood and choose nourishment that is sustainable, healthy, and inspiring. Also, be aware of environmental factors such as land clearing and water use. Once you start to scratch the surface, you will discover alarming and eye-opening truths about food production. There is no need to be dogmatic about making a shift, but do what you can. It does make a difference. May all beings everywhere be happy and free, and may the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to that happiness and to that freedom for all. Translation of the Sanskrit prayer. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. And today from Isis channeling, Medusa's gift, Lunar Eclipse, November 19th. We surf into the lunar eclipse of November 19th on high waves that are coming crashing down, bringing endings, with a capital E, that are now long overdue, as the previous cycles have run their course and have no more gifts or lessons for us. We need to let go, release these cycles, relationships, situations, now as inability to do so will prove to be toxic, poisonous. Cycles that are now ready for release are centered around how we receive, give, caretaking, nurturing, healing, and their role in our sense of security, home, belonging, and purpose, service. These are the relationships that are now poised to move out of their current state into the next, because inability to do so, let go, will cause them to become toxic. Thus, the eclipse is the gateway that provides us the opportunity to release, alchemize, the toxic poisonous that is carried down in our relationships, whether it's patterns in romantic relationships or generational toxicity carried in the form of hereditary diseases carried down the maternal or paternal lines. And there is a powerful ally present to assist with this during this eclipse, Medusa, the serpent-haired goddess. This eclipse is conjunct the star Algol, third eye of Medusa. Though the patriarchal narrative describes it as a demon star, one needs to view it from the lens of divine feminine at its highest octave of protection, the death stare, protection that is necessitated due to the betrayal by the patriarchy, Poseidon, and the props of patriarchy that have allowed it to reign for so long, the shadow feminine, Athena, jealousy and envy. This is sacred feminine rage at suppression of free will, sexual freedom and expression, and sacred feminine gifts associated with sexual kundalini magic, intuition, healing, transcendence, regeneration, birthing, manifestation, that can alchemize into the highest medicine of protection via the oracular gifts of the third eye. Dig deeper and remove the covers of patriarchal narratives of demon, and Medusa reveals herself as the dark goddess of deep alchemy, magic, and medicine. There is a thin line between poison and medicine, depending on which side of the lens you place your perception, for the poison itself is often the medicine. So in a nutshell, this longest lunar eclipse of the century brings mega endings, and hence the opportunity to alchemize, transform the poison into medicine, and bring healing. Also, I'm getting strong guidance for some soul fragment retrieval work. This eclipse takes place in the Ascension cycle of Venus at crown chakra of her shamanic cycle of the destiny weaving archetype of Gemini meta-goddess that sets the tone till 2028. Last one was in 2012 through 2020, when we entered into the maiden awakening phase. This current 8-year cycle of Venus, 2020 through 2028, is the mother, sovereign, queen phase, where we move from awakening of our feminine gifts, both genders, to using these gifts to birth, alchemize, manifest a new timeline where the feminine energy regains her sovereignty as Shekinah, and thus her sacred gifts of oracular perception, prophecy, intuition, and sexual powers and magic of birthing, healing, manifestation, and spiritual ascension. It's a super powerful window full of opportunity for healing and closing old cycles and moving into higher powers of perception and other third eye gifts of seer, prophet, and the manifestation of intention, carried only in sovereign voices, throat chakra, that speak for the greatest good, only if you place yourself at the right end of the lens of perception. And light, and grace, and joy, be the change you want to see. Sake Na, from IsisChannelings.wordpress.com. And from the Order of the Star, Full Moon Lunar Eclipse. The full moon in Taurus officially kicks off eclipse season on November 19th at 3:58 a.m. EST on Friday, and the lunar eclipse begins at 1:02 a.m. EST. Max eclipse occurs at 4:03 a.m. EST. This upcoming eclipse will take place at 27 degrees Taurus as it opposes the Sun in Scorpio, which will shine a light on what you consider to be yours, while also helping you redesign the boundaries that allowed you to have meaningful relationships with others. Taurus brings changes regarding money, wealth, abundance, natural beauty, fertility, sensuality, love, and connection, not just personally but also collectively. Open up to the new and release the old. Whatever happens under the watchful eye of an eclipse is out of your control, so don't try to shape the outcome. Let the chips fall where they may and trust that you're right where you're supposed to be. This is also the longest partial lunar eclipse in 500 plus years, not since the 1440s. At this full moon in Taurus and transformative eclipse, we are also in direct alignment with the Pleiades. This is because on November 21st, the Pleiades cluster culminates and reaches its highest point in the sky at midnight. Eclipses are harbingers of change. They usher in evolution. At a lunar eclipse, the shadow of the Earth falls across the face of the moon, bringing unconscious feelings to the surface, grounding them in reality. Lunar eclipses are culminations of emotional cycles that have run their course, and they encourage us to let go of emotions and attachments that are no longer serving us. The lunar eclipse will be an extremely powerful time for cleansing our emotional waters and setting intention for renewal and rejuvenation in the coming months, because the energetic cycles of the lunar eclipse tend to extend through the period of the next 3 months after its event. In the lunar eclipse, the sun momentarily blocks the illumination that creates a full moon, resetting the current emotional cycle and allowing the shadow to reveal what is hidden in our subconscious or keeping us blocked from seeing more clearly. The spiritual aspect of the moon represents our deep emotional tides, and so when the shadow passes over the moon, temporarily ceasing the illumination of our emotional being, there is an opportunity to reveal and transform our current emotional state. Lunar eclipses are viewed in astrology as being deeply transformative times that can bring abrupt and sudden change. While this is true, there is another side to eclipses that are important to remember. Eclipses are like the cosmic helping hand of the universe. Imagine the energy of an eclipse like a universal hand that reaches down from the heavens and puts you where you need to be. This can be a time of leaving what is safe and comfortable in order to grow more fully into yourself. The good thing about eclipses is that generally you can trust the direction they are guiding you in. Eclipses bring about events that are part of the cosmic plan. These are important times for reflection upon your life, whom you need to forgive or what you need to let go of and move on from. The energy of a full moon is always that of the cycle coming to a crescendo or completion of its influence and essence. The full moon is an opportunity to let go of an aspect of your emotional experience that you have outgrown, and a time for anchoring in a new maturity or wisdom that was gained in the previous cycle. It is a perfect time for releasing something that no longer serves you. Endings are necessary in order to make way for the new, and a lunar eclipse is like the final purge or cleansing of an emotional cycle. If something needs to be gone from your life, if something needs to come to an end, an eclipse can help you to set the intention of completion in concrete in the external world. Every single full moon brings a chance to embrace changes, let go, and cultivate greater connection with the divine. I believe we can experience connection with the divine by simply being mindful and present to the cycles of nature, the seasons, and life all around us. By developing a spiritual practice that is founded in earth-based wisdom and honoring the cycles of the moon and seasonal cycles of change and growth, we can live in greater peace and harmony in our daily lives. The full moon is the time to release attachments or blocks and barriers to our worthiness and open ourselves to greater receiving and inspiration. The energy of a full moon is always that of a cycle coming to a height of its current resonance. Whatever you needed to let go of, whatever changes you needed to make, an eclipse on the full moon can help you to release and let go and open to the new. Trust whatever is unfolding in your life as natural to the cycles of transformation and change, and know that it is all for a higher purpose. We will also be using the energy of the lunar eclipse to meditate and visualize reaching the critical mass of over 144,000 people or more participating in our main meditation for the Divine Intervention activation on December 21st. We put out a video on this a couple days ago. Do a search on our channel for Divine Intervention Activation December 21st. Be sure to check that out to join in on this powerful meditation. And today, from A Gift from Gaia, we are about to begin exploring a new frequency as we now hurtle towards the corridor of this lunar eclipse portal that promises to bring the light to areas such as betrayal, great shame, blame, and the separation that's experienced when one has lost their mind to the stories and beliefs that support the illusions of light and dark and of them and us. On the one hand, this eclipse will be like a painful, blinding light, but given time, the force will be realized as the gift that it was to turn the attention inwards, which is always where the answers are found once the rebellion has been surrendered. The moon will be eclipsed by Earth, and this gives us an opportunity to realize where we have been getting in the way of the harmonious experiences that we desire most, which are ultimately the experiences that are available once one can free themselves from the mundane details that have proven to matter less than a dot and no time at all, but instead focus on the experiences that are available once one is not just realized, but actualized, so that the power of Source can run like a torrent through the cellular body. The golden force, the superpower of creation itself, begins to reveal heaven from the inside out. What makes this eclipse so very potent and the great awakening is due to a few factors. 1, it sits on the fixed star Algol. 2, with the 7 sisters acting like a filter cleansing away the mind's silt. 3, it is the longest eclipse in duration for 580 years. Firstly, to share the translation gifted by Algol, she highlights any betrayal that is active. To fully understand the template, then study the template of Medusa. It speaks of jealousy, of disrespect, of manipulation, and she teaches us that to slay the Gorgon that exists within the catacombs of the mind, then we must use the reflections that are scattered around and the treasures that she guards. Bitterness, hate, rejection. There is much to be seen when Algol touches the moon and the shadows that we create when we are in our own way. Be wise and see the illusions. Use this time before the eclipse to see where this is arising within your story now, and see how this now moment relates to an underlying program that reflects and points to childhood trauma that is asking for healing. Use this energy to sacrifice the void, handing it over, so to realize the space that has been activating the stories of old and past and causing the repeat performances time and time again. In order to clear this, we have the 7 Hathors that are holding the space, but also filtering out the dirt. However, when we are not aware of the alignment that these 7 sisters hold, then we often find ourselves feeling the rough end of the resistance to their love. To understand them, we need to understand the order. 1. Asterope. 2. Taygeta. 3. Maya. 4. Selena. 5. Electra. 6. Merope. 7. Alcyone. And these are the daughters of Atlas. To work with them and understand the filters they provide to purify our vessels, then we need to understand the 7 divine feminine archetypes, which are 1. Root chakra, the wild and free woman dissolving all shame and opening the power of creation, leading to 2. The sacral chakra and the maiden, leaving aside the judgment that raises with her curiosity to explore herself and her ever-changing surroundings, which is all that is physical, both her body and the outer body of reality, and this transcended polarity opens. 3. The solar plexus and the healer unveils. Life flourishes in a reflection of how much presence she offers as she nourishes each moment with her undivided attention, which 4. Activates the mother who lives in the heart of all things, chakra, she who loves unconditionally and is the source of all creation, to then 5. Be known as the priestess who sings and speaks powerfully from the throat chakra and can either build or destroy mountains in her word. Some know this energy as the witch, but it is she who ends the belief of death and rebirth and learns to see. 6. As the seer who sits at the seat of the soul, being the pineal gland or the eye of the brow, and sees the truth, that there was never any beginning and there will be no end. She is responsible for dreaming the dream into existence for 7. The golden crown to be placed on the head of the goddess, to actualize and experience heaven here on earth. Can you recognize her within you? Can you create the space for her? Can you move and groove, glow and flow as she? Feel into my brief description of the filters of the feminine and see where you get to be more, accept more, and transform more. See where you hold your resistance and let down your hair to free yourself from the self-imprisonment of the tower. Bring down the tower, which is a topical theme as the eclipse consumes what is no longer purposeful in these now times. Finally, this eclipse is in the energy of ground-altering Taurus, and is most likely to manifest itself within our system of values, which always highlights exactly where we lack in our self-worth, and so provides us with opportunities to realize the riches that are available when we align to what is most true, as per the guidance leading us into our next most authentic skin. It is an unusual eclipse as per the length of time it takes to complete, and it will be viewed in the parts of the world that are still dark during 9:02 a.m. here in the UK, which means the effects of this lunar eclipse will be most transformative in both North and South America and also East Asia. The length of time it will take I am translating as the depth we have to explore, which again tells us just how much wholesomeness that is available should you choose to work with the system reboot. I'm sure I do not need to tell you, but the key to any lock that appears stuck is holding the frequency of kindness, of compassion, and realizing that everyone, until they are aware, are aimlessly fighting the demons of their past traumas and events. Nothing is personal, because no other technically exists. So the ultimate of understanding is required to pass through the seeming test that both Algol and the 7 Hathors will give to those who eclipse themselves. Scribed with love, translated with my most highest love and wisdom available to me in this moment, with infinite peace, love, and bliss, Andrea. And from Divine Sistar of the Light, Shekinah Rose. Blue ray transmissions, November full moon, partial eclipse, powerful intense energies and ascension symptoms, expansion and caution. The full moon will be at peak energies for 3 days. Earth keepers, earth sensitives, and blue rays, and the many starseeds, angelics, light bearers, and awakened ones know the potential and holy power of being aware and in tune to the celestial and planetary cycles. Being aware in how to best use and flow with them can bring huge opportunities of empowerment, insights, and higher awareness. It is part of being awakened as you become sensitive to your universal, galactic, holy power of celestial awareness and earth star ancestry. Contradicting energies will be emerging at the same time. Being conscious in how you feel and react to them is important, as you have the holy God power and are fully capable of shifting the frequencies to a higher octave. It's part of your code, your mission, and path, as you are gifted, and this is your gift. New discoveries for many of the light bearers, as your heart soul will be emerging with a new depth of beauty, magic, and sensitivities. The Freedom Soul Codes will be activating deep release of emotions and stagnant energies. Old issues may arise that you thought you already had dealt with. This clearing and release will create space for the new energies and the love power to arise in you. The heartstrings of love and longing to have connections to family, friends, and soul star family will also be engaged and felt. Caution to be taken at these full moon eclipses are supercharged full moons and have effects over a longer period of time, weeks, months, and even years. These energies will be giving you glimpses of the future. Everything will be exaggerated via potent hidden emotions. Highs and lows and relationship insights can surface and increase sensitivity. Beautiful healings and new friendships. Ascension symptoms are a combination of many energies, including celestial, solar, interdimensional, galactic, soul awakening, earth energies, and vibrations. This full moon could bring physical sensitivity in your empathic energy field. Listen and tune in to your sacred self as to what your needs are. A message to starseeds and blue rays. Remember your divinity. You are here for a reason, a purpose, to fulfill your piece of the divine plan, and your intuitive, empathic sensitivities are a grand gift, rendering you a blessing to life. By remembering your soul, you are creating a profound awakening shift for humanity, in partnership with Mother Earth Gaia, reuniting the heavens to earth, the divine realms of the true human and their home with the galactic star and light families. You are the awakening, and it's happening through you. As you vibrate the codes again, the expansion and the revelations, you are the frequency anchors of love and light. Thank you, beloved. You are loved in every moment, every consecrated breath. 888. From ShekinahRose.com. And from Divine Sistar of the Light, Maureen Moss. Can you even imagine how many cosmic beings have lined up to see these 5 or 6 weeks of activity here on Earth? I imagine the moon getting pretty spiffed up for an event that hasn't happened since 1440. What I would say is through all of this is to realize or remember your vastness. Remember that you are not some little human going through this earth with some kind of superpower courage. You are a vast soul shining in the universe, going through this God knows what with supreme power, who has waited for the show to get on with it down here long enough. Your soul has stood in the background for long enough. Time is up. We did a pretty good job at screwing up and getting it straightened out to this degree. That's a feat in itself. Soul is ready to step front and center and have a big experience, and play life in a very different way now, and with new playmates. I sense the soul has been wooing the personality to slightly move over and make space. I don't sense if we looked at the Akash we would find our souls ever having an experience quite like this one. There is some serious orchestration going on over these weeks, next of endless activity. This is pretty exciting. I feel like I haven't gone to a good party in a very long time. Let's do this in stillness and dancing and watching ourselves become more fascinated with this whole thing. So we shall put through these weeks together, sharing stories and experiences. I sense some of us are going to come out of these weeks with a new soul lease on life. That's what it is really, a soul lease on life, and we will lease this life until there's another great adventure the soul wants to go to. Meanwhile, let's do this and set some fireworks off in the cosmos. We, the divine new soul beings, are resetting the entire galaxy. So awesome. Stay in your center, beloveds, no matter what goes on. Think love, feel love, be love. Let God breathe you. Cut ties intentionally with timelines that are done. Done is done. That is important. All in all, let's see how this all is going to play out in the next few weeks. It is an amazing time to stay in the now. Love to all, Maureen Moss. And from Divine Sistar of the Light, Carolyn, 144 God Code. A new level of understanding of past experiences is surfacing with today's full moon eclipse. Reminiscing on poor choices and close calls can be surfacing as part of closure to the old earth and your former self. You can see how much you have changed and transmuted lack for logic, organization, and structure. Understanding that you are always protected as you learn life lessons is more proof that God has your back. These lessons are now transmuting and are releasing from the memory to heal and move on. Today's alignment of energies are helping you recognize how stable and discerning you've become. This has prepared you for New Earth marriage, where you are a self-sufficient and independent spouse. No longer will you play a victim role and sacrifice for another, especially in relationships and home. The relationships of the past that took advantage of your state of consciousness and vulnerability are what you have overcome. Verdicts are in 3333. You have untethered yourself from those karmic bonds through a process of elimination. The seed point of this karma created unhealthy coping mechanisms, which suppressed the emotions and distracted you from seeing what others were really doing when you weren't looking. As you've healed yourself, you've decoded all that programming. What was suppressed has surfaced and released. With each layer and experience healed, have patience and allow the process to organically happen. This eclipse season is helping everting surface and transmute, so you can fully own your power and birthrights. There is nothing to fear. Everything is aligning perfectly. You are being prepared for loyal, loving, faithful, unified relationships and collaborations. God is gifting you with more nurturing ideas, communication, and support, so you can successfully continue rising up into the new you. Keep choosing this exciting new path and receive. In Jesus Christos' name, Amen. From Carolyn Kundalini Twin Flames. And from here in the Moon Astrology, Friday, November 19, 2021, Seeing Through a Glass Darkly. Today overlit by the high Taurian frequency, the world behind the world is briefly unveiled during the Taurus full moon lunar eclipse at Pluto's Scorpio Esoteric Solar Festival. The cosmic wildcard plugged into Jupiter and Pluto is disrupting natural resources and weather patterns and charging up the continuous life-death cycle of existence. It's time to eliminate and let go of anything that no longer is true for you. Something hidden is being revealed. Something familiar is falling away. Things and beings that existed in form and matter are occulted, fading into the ethers because their purpose is done and their time is gone. This allows a whole new reality to come forth in your life. Notice who or what has left or is in the process of leaving, and release them with gratitude for their gifts while they shared your incarnation. The outworkings of this darkening of the lights will ripple down your timeline for the next 6 months. The Taurus mantra is, I see, and when the eye is opened, all is light. The Buddha sign of earthy Taurus is the world, third eye, and the pineal gland, the ancestral master cell of untapped DNA. Algol, the eye of Medusa, is a binary flashing star, occulted every 2.5 days, so this is a double eclipse of the relics of the recent past. Taurus is plugged into the enormous light of the 7 hotly burning blue-white stars of the Pleiades, the great central sun, acting as a channel or gateway to the source of this tremendous spiritual center. It illuminates by showing you the nature of light. The Chandra symbol, lunar eclipse Taurus 28, making candles out of beeswax. The sweetness is in the returning to those sacred places always known, stripping away false layers and finding someone underneath who is poignantly familiar and resonantly true. The search, the quest, the process, for everything depends on giving yourself over to the master craftsman hands of the creator beings. You are simply a seed blown by the wind, and to become this completely is blissful fruition inwardly smiled into being. Inside degrees, Elias Lonsdale. In December, day after day, wave after wave of off-the-scales astrology will accelerate the great unveiling that begins today, November 19th, at the Taurus eclipse, escalating at the Sagittarian solar eclipse. Frame it as a necessary reattunement ahead of the incoming Neptunian tsunami of disillusion that will define 2022. From here in the Moon Astrology.co.uk. And from Divine Sistar of the Light, Adrian Elise. Gaia Daily, November 19th through the 22nd, Divine Purpose. We're coming off of the powerful lunar eclipse in Taurus, making the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new era. It's all about fighting the darkness in order to claim our true wealth with Mars in opposition to Uranus. The next chapter is about humans claiming their sovereignty. Mercury in square to Jupiter says we must break free from the mind control and programming if we ever are going to be able to move into the Aquarian age. Jupiter in Aquarius is exactly 1 sign over from Pluto in Capricorn. This is the alchemy we need to break of our false authority programming and claim our own sovereignty. Our precious creation energy, the source within us all, has been abducted and used for nefarious purposes. Eros, conjunct Pluto, is reminding us that our God-given right to our direct connection to Source is just that, our own. Creation energy has been demonized, twisted, and distorted, but sexual energy is just energy. It's the same as free energy, and our life force energy that keeps us healthy. When we are not aware and accessing this energy, it leaves it open for other forces to feed upon. It's becoming more and more clear that we are living in a parasitic reality, but humanity is no longer for sale. Vesta, keeper of the sacred flame of spiritual purpose and creative fire, is on the south node of the moon at 1 degree Sagittarius. Monday marks a big turning point with the sun moving into Sagittarius, and over this conjunction, it's a new start for our human identity. With the disclosure and cleaning up of human slavery also comes an opportunity for people to once again live with purpose. Everything that has worked against this with mind control and manipulation of our timelines and reality, but now it's time for humanity to claim sovereignty and divine purpose. Supernova souls, we lead the way, from AdrianElise.com. And from Divine Sistar of the Light, Leah Whitehorse. Lunar Eclipse in Taurus, Venus in Capricorn, trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus. A new chapter opens as we move into eclipse season. This is the first of the Taurus eclipses, which will highlight issues connected to resources and security for the future. As Venus, ruler of the eclipse, reaches out to Uranus, already traveling through Taurus, we're reminded that diversification is a natural part of life. The eclipse may illuminate where we have become resistant to the process, stuck, too comfortable, too afraid of the unknown. Nothing can stay the same. Everything must evolve. Change is natural. For us to advance both individually and collectively, we also need to ensure that the resources required are available to invest in the future. It's time to figure out what is important, to align personal values to action, to acknowledge what needs eliminating to allow for growth. Challenge any feelings of unworthiness. Free your heart. Be open to intuitive prompts from the universe. From LeahWhitehorse.com. Today from the Dzolkeen Times, Keen 80, Yellow Lunar Sun. Lunar is the name for the number 2, and its keywords are challenge, polarize, and stabilize. It is interesting that this lunar day falls on a yellow Sunday, because the moon and sun are opposites. So energy-wise, today is a bit like an eclipse. The second day of a wave spell is always challenging. One must identify the obstacles in the way so one may proceed. Which day the number 2 falls on, however, affects how challenging it can be. Synchronicity is surely happening today, as there is actually a lunar eclipse today. Today is yellow sun, which represents enlightenment, universal fire, and life. When combined with the lunar energy, this can result in difficulties in seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Illumination can be elusive, and answers lurk in the shadows. If you need to shine bright today, it can be done, but expect to meet with resistance. Clouds will get in the way of the sunshine today. However, enlightenment is always a good thing, and by the end of the day you should have figured out how to remove the obstacles in your path. And today from Divine Sistar of the Light, Christina Papagiorgio, Yellow Lunar Sun, 2, Ahau, Keen 80, 19th of November 2021, Stabilizing Enlightenment, Full Moon, Lunar Eclipse, 1911, 2021 equal 10, 2, 5 equal 17 equal 8. Day codes 19, Prince of Heaven, honor, fulfillment, happiness. 10, manifestation, authority, power. 1, new beginnings, leader, original. 8, infinite, abundant, source flow. Month year codes 11, portal, gate, polarity. 2, twins, partner, cooperation. 5, freedom, liberation, change, transformation. 7, spiritual, magic, mystic, initiation. Keen 80 equal 8, abundance. 0, source, abundance from source. Today we enter the eclipse cauldron with a full moon lunar eclipse with the sun and power-hungry Scorpio, facing off with the moon in the sign of Taurus, the charging bull. Scorpio is the sign of mysteries and secrets, so watch out for more truth bombs, with the Scorpio sun illuminating all the shadows from the dark to light. The themes of life, death, and rebirth through the rising of the phoenix from the ashes. All huge themes. Boom, crash, opera. The eclipse involves the dance between the sun and moon today and the opposition of the light and the dark, as the moon blocks out some of our light today. The lunar sun also paradoxically involves these two celestial bodies, the sun and the lunar tone, light and dark. We have a doubling and great amplification of this eclipse through the dream spell code of Keen 80 today. This extremely potent and revolutionary energy is pushing us to keep evolving. Through revealing the shadows, we are reminded that amidst the turbulence it is time to look up and seek out the sun. Today is a day of facing the challenges that arise, that have been impeding our soul's evolution and journey to enlightenment. Day 2 in the blue storm wave spell of purification, cleansing, transformation, and evolution. Planetary storms are physically and energetically brewing during this cycle, so be prepared for lots of purging of density through visible and not so visible signs. Hold on to your hats. We have 13 days of storm energy to endure. It is only day 2, and many locations on Earth may experience flash storms as Gaia is purifying and transforming her planetary body. Tone of creation, lunar tone 2 in the physical realm. The lunar tone represents the sacred twins, cooperation, relationship, polarity of male and female, and duality. Its action polarizes, power challenges, essence stabilizing. The energy today highlights polarity conflicts, which is amplified through the eclipse portal. The energy of the sun illuminating the shadow that has been cast. Both sides are revealed for the truth to be seen. Yesterday we magnetized and attracted spiritual energy, and today we anchor that energy in our physical bodies. The sun helps us anchor the light codes in our cells. The lunar tone may also reveal challenges through the storm catalyst in order to recognize and release anything stopping us from shining brightly as the solar, Christed beings. Today's question is, how can I anchor my light despite the challenges and chaos that surrounds me, becoming a beacon for others? In la ketch a la keen, Christina White Magnetic World Bridger, Keen 66. Keen 80, Yellow Lunar Sun. The mantra, the code for today is, I polarize in order to enlighten, stabilizing life. I seal the matrix of universal fire with the lunar tone of challenge. I am guided by the power of free will. And on this powerful day of transformations and manifestations, let us know, beloved beings of light, in the comments below what you're feeling, what you're seeing, your visions, your dreams, and your synchronicities. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Click the subscribe button below on the little bell to get notifications on future updates. And as always, we have a link in the description below to the transcriptions of today's transmissions, and we archive these on our website, primedisclosure.com. Now I'd like to take the time to thank everyone supporting us in our work and mission. It's because of your monthly pledges and donations we're able to continue this work. I'd like to thank and welcome Divine Sister of the Light, Christal D, for your pledge and support on Patreon, and welcome to the tribe of the Eagle and Condor. If you'd like to support our work and help us continue bringing these transmissions to the world and our other teachings, you can make a monthly pledge at the link at whitegoldeagle.com. Now I'd like to also thank Divine Sister of the Light, Cheryl Sullivan, for your donation. Thank you very much, Divine Sister. And I'd like to also thank Divine Sister of the Light, Mendy Freeman, for your donation. Thank you very much. We truly appreciate you and your support, and all of you. We are very grateful and thankful for every one of you that are supporting our work and mission. If you'd like to make a one-time donation, you could do so to our PayPal link at eaglelovecondor.com. We would like to also thank everyone supporting my Sacred Condor's artwork on Etsy. You can purchase her beautiful handmade goddess totems, zodiac goddesses, angels, and other works of art at lunagoddessart.com. And she has a 15% off sale on all of her beautiful handmade works of art for the next 15 days or so for the 6/6 portal. Now we're going to complete today's transmissions with powerful codes from our Pleiadian Brothors and Sisters of the Light. Pleiades 1 messages, November 19, 2021. P1 calling Terrans for origins recognition. Attention for calls in PVSE-SDE. Divine contributions increase. Intense transitions are initiated. Oracle on Island of Purification is masterfully installed. Neva plus R plus 12th Akashic Projector aimed to evaluate support. 98% non-regressive. Next, greater than 13. Forecast of 19. Plus authorized. Yabenkau. Attention Neva, reverberation of certifying code. Plus 58% non-regressive. Initial cleaning, tube B, recorks in progress, 58% non-regressive. Final cauterization, tube B, recorks in progress, 56% non-regressive. Force Asfal Mayor is activated. Revelators are ready. Superior commands are called for final removals. MID in specific frames against unification. Sentinels called. Major cures are activated. Temporarily end of transmission. Pleiades 1. Supporting, anchoring an island of purification. From disclosurenews.it. Thank you for joining us today, beloved beings of light. Have a most powerful and blessed lunar eclipse, full moon in Taurus, gateway, portal, activation, and a most powerful blue storm wave spell ahead. Keep walking gently your sacred path with heart, with it peace in every step, and keep shining your light brightly into the night. Be sure to make this the best day ever. The eagle and the condor love you all. Namaste.